Alright guys, let's try this again. I've been trying for the past hour and a half to get something uploaded so y'all can see what I've been working on. Here's my shifter. If I push that back, that puts me up in gear. Push it forward, it drops me down in gear, goes back to neutral. Up first, second, third, fourth, then back down to neutral. Everything pivots on this pin right here. Eventually it'll get a brace in here, down to here. This is my Kickstarter. I will explain that in a minute. See my shaft? I bet y'all know where that came from. Anyway, this is what I was working on. This goes up into there. See, that moves nice. Everything moves together. I don't know if you can see that. And if you listen, it clicked into gear, went back to neutral. Back to first, back to neutral. This thing works like a dream. Eventually, right now it's held in there with some clamps. I'm gonna drill it and tap it. Or actually, I'm just gonna put self-tapping screws in it to hold it in. It doesn't need a lot to hold it. I'll put 2 in each bearing case or bearing holder. Here's the other side. I think y'all saw that already in the pictures, but you see how everything works. Okay, now, oh, if you notice, the seat's not positioned exactly right, but everything's spaced out. This goes right past the seat. There's nice room. It's about a 1/4-inch gap all the way across. Next will be, let's see, tomorrow I'm going to work on getting this done. I miscalculated this little piece down here, if you can see it. This should have been up a little higher so I could notch it. So this bar actually sits flat like that. I have to do some cutting and welding tomorrow to fix that. And the way this is going to work, this is the 50-degree angle I was talking about the other day. Once I put the weld bung on and put the heim end on there, this will stop at the bottom of the frame. The heim end will be at the very bottom of the frame. Now that's going to connect all the way down there to the Kickstarter over there. I clocked the Kickstarter so that the tension, the return tension of the spring actually holds the Kickstarter up against the frame, so I have as much ground clearance as possible. You see how much the return holds it all the way back up against the frame just right. To get a full swing, let me get to the side so you can actually see. Okay, that's all the tension out. To get a full swing, it's a little bit more than 1/4 of a turn. So from here, you can imagine it's going to go to about right here. That puts the foot part about 1.5 inches below this. And now if you imagine an angle from that point all the way down over to that thing, when this comes up to about right there with the shifter, it's about I think 15 degrees from vertical. That bar ends up being, I don't know if you can see it right there. It ends up being just below the frame, about 2.5 inches. And then from there, it's going to go to the kicker over here. So as I pull this up, it pulls that kicker forward. And that's how I will be starting this thing. I'll be starting it from the driver's seat. After I get that in, then I'm going to do my seat mount. It's going to pivot on a bar, on a rod up here in the front with 2 bearing housings, so the seat can pivot up and down like that in the back. I'm going to put 2 springs, one in this corner to up here, and then the same thing on the other side. I've been using testing trampoline springs and some other springs. I found out the 2 trampoline springs with my body weight is actually perfect. It gives me just enough droop so I have some suspension to the seat, but not enough where if I hit something hard, I don't think I'm going to be flying way up, you know what I mean, because of the loaded tension of the springs. To keep the seat from going up too high, there's going to be a bar that comes out with a rubber snubber that plate will stop at that bar, so I know my head doesn't hit the roof, which will eventually be put on. That'll be the next step. After that, I'll pull the seat back out, and actually, no, I take that back. Before I even do the seat, I'm gonna start this thing. Once I get the Kickstarter going, I'll go ahead and put the clutch in, wire it up so my clutch works, and then my gas tank up there, the old fire extinguisher, I'll put it back in the corner and run my fuel, run my wiring, and hopefully maybe by Wednesday I should be able to kickstart this thing and hear it run. It's gonna run with no